notice in order to demolish the following: public safety. 1237 Pine Street, Area 11, 79 East Grand Avenue, Area 13, 553 Oak Avenue, Area 11, 148 Allen Avenue, Area 11. Summary of request. This is to request that the City Commission concur with the findings of the Housing Board of Appeals that the structures are unsafe, substandard, a public nuisance, and that they be demolished within 30 days. It is further requested that administration be directed to obtain bids for the demolition of the structures, and that the mayor and city clerk be authorized and directed to execute a contract for demolition with the lowest responsible bidder. Staff recommendation to concur with the Housing Board of Appeals decision to demolish.
Thank you. Is there anyone here in the audience to speak on any of these properties? There's nobody here to speak on any of these properties. Commissioner Spataro.
Seeing no one, I would move that we concur with the Housing Board of Appeals notice and order to demolish 1237 Pine Street, 79 East Grand Avenue, 553 Oak Avenue, and 148 Allen Avenue.
Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Spataro, supported by Vice Mayor Gowland, to concur with the Housing Board of Appeals notice in order to demolish 1237 Pine Street, 79 East Grand Avenue, 553 Oak Avenue, and 148 Allen Avenue. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Wastowski?
Yes.
Commissioner Carter?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gowland?
Yes.
Commissioner Spataro?
Yes.
Mayor Warmington?
Yes?
Commissioner Waringo?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Is there any other business, Commissioners? Okay. Audience?
Yes, there is.
Pardon me, Commissioner Carter.
Yes, mine's going to be short and sweet. Over the last 30 days, there's been some unfortunate incidents that's happening between two cities, the city of Muskegon and the city of Muskegon Heights. My heart is saddened by what has happened. And I make a special request to anybody within listening distance of my voice, the adults and the youth. I propose that we get together at some point and figure out what's going on. We need more involvement. We have a lot of organizations here in town who claim to be proponents of the community, churches, different social organizations. I appeal to you to reach out and try to figure out a way that we can stop this senseless violence that's been going on. It's utterly ridiculous. And it's time for us to stop talking about it, start doing something about it. I myself plan on getting involved in some way, shape, form, or fashion in trying to figure out what is the root cause of what's going on and how we can, as a community, heal this problem. And not put a Band-Aid on it, but stitch it up completely so it doesn't bleed anymore. We cannot do that alone. There's been a lot of, like I said, a lot of talk. It's time for talk over. There's been, if I'm not mistaken, 6 in the last 30 days. It's time for us to stop talking and start doing. Again, I reach out to these churches, these social organizations who promote that that's what they're there for. Well, it's time for these organizations to stop promoting and start doing. Thank you.
Is there any other business?
Just concur with what he said.
Ms. Carey? Before you to give your name and your address, please.
My name is Pamela Carey, address 2309 Minor. I'm here
Pull that
today.
mic a little closer if you'd like. There you go.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I'm here today to address some issues that came up for Shoreline Spectacular. The first and foremost issue is when I applied for this in March 4th, I was given a special events policy and procedures, and nowhere in that policy or procedures does it state that new events have to pay in advance, and at no time other than August 5th was I told that we would have to pay any money in advance. August 5th, I received a letter from the city stating that we have to pay a portion of the cost in advance. And I've been back through policies and stuff. They're saying that it's new policy, that all new festivals have to pay in advance. And I guess I have an issue with that because the festival is not new. I'm a new organizer of the festival, but the festival is 26 years old. So I don't feel that I should fall underneath that policy. And I feel as though if there is a policy, then where is it and why haven't I seen it? Why am I told less than a month before my festival that I need to come up with a huge amount of money? The other problem that I'm seeing here, and if you look at the chart that I gave in front of you, that you should have in front of you, about the charges, I feel that they are way, way over-exaggerated charges that I've been given. And I compared it with several different festivals to see, why mine was so much, as well as went back and pulled the 2007, 2008 event and what they were charged in police services and DPW services. And you can see the difference between those is huge. So my question is, why is it so huge? And why is my event being charged this much money? I can go into a little bit more detail. When they gave me the detail, one of the things that they had said was that we need 9 police officers during the day and 11 police officers at night on our event. Now, our event is 4 blocks long, 5 if you count this little strip of land. We are a family event with family carnivals, inflatable games, family picnics, church services. And we have 1 beer tent in the whole event. So, and we have also hired a professional security company that will be on site, and we have 7 of those during the day, 8 volunteer security walking around, and we have 7 at night and 8 volunteer walking around as well to protect our festival and make sure that there is no incidents happen, although it's a family festival, so I don't see how it would be. So I guess my question is, why would we ever need 9 police officers during the day or 11 at night? And then the other question that I had is that in doing this, if they're going to put that many on mine, are they going to put that many on the other festival? And if so, then who's protecting the city? Because that's a lot of police officers on two festivals. I don't know how many police officers we have, but I can't imagine that we have, that many more. So I'm asking you guys to be reasonable with me and give me reasonable charges for my festival, and to consider not charging me in advance, seeing as how I was never, ever notified, and I cannot find a policy anywhere that states that I have to pay in advance.
Mr. Mayor, I think, anybody is owed an explanation of the fees. I know we've seen some of this internally, but if the chief of police can explain why these particular staffing levels are recommended, I can deduce from the fact that this is a holiday weekend that contributes to the extra cost over and above regular overtime rates, but...
Can I say something before?
Sure.
I mean, I understand your desire to hear from Tony, and I respect that, but I think that it's important for me to indicate that when we look at events and what the requirements are for services, first of all, we look at what services are requested, and then we also look at what the activities are of the event and what the venue is for the event. And then the Director of Public Safety makes a determination as to what police services are required. And certainly we try to keep that as reasonable as possible. We're not trying to overcharge anybody. But I think, and I've said this to Ms. Carey, that it's important not to get hung up on comparing one event to another, because each event is different in its own regard as far as the type of activities it has, the size of the venue, the number of days, and as you said, Commissioner Spataro, the fact that some events are held on holidays and that increases the cost. So there's a whole host of factors that come into play in determining what the services are for the event, and then what the costs are for the event. So I think it's important to say those things. And those are things I've said to Ms. Carey, and I've had a conversation with her, so this isn't anything new, but certainly she has the right to approach you for some relief, which she is doing. With that, and I allow Tony to make his comments.
I'm glad to discuss our costs. Based upon the information that the event organizers have provided us in the area involved, stretching along Western Avenue, primarily from 3rd to 7th, but a request beyond 7th to 8th, and then unofficially back towards 1st Street, including a beer tent, including the fact that there'll be bars open along that avenue. We don't have a history with this organization. We don't have a history of this event. Granted, there includes Hackley Park as well, and yeah, there are some family, as Ms. Carey said, some family-related activities as well. However, having said that, we don't have a history of this event. Initial indications were provided by them that there could be up to 30,000 people downtown. My district staff can't handle it if there are issues. The regular district cars, I think what some people tend to forget is we still have a high call load this time of year, and certainly this particular holiday weekend. Throw into that on Monday, a holiday, where contractually we have to pay the officers triple time. So when you look at our total cost, and actually what my staff recommended to me, I actually pared down from there. And it wasn't a lot, and they weren't indicating or recommending a tremendous amount of officers, but we pared back from there. The cost could be less.